live.
See, we do this every time. That's why we can't have the same.
Hello.
Because the thing spins.
Spins.
You don't know.
There's
there
a
we
lag.
Go.
Hello.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Talk About It Tuesday. I just yelled at Jerry, do you have your phone silenced?
And mine was. Hers was not.
I think when I went downstairs to get my
You turned it back on?
Glasses. No, you did. You sabotaged me. What is up, everybody? It is Rachel and Jerry Niesman. We are the Niesman Team with Keller Williams Realty, Fort Myers and the Islands, here to tell you all about real talk real estate in Southwest Florida. Welcome to Talk About It Tuesday.
Today we're talking about the pros and cons of living in Fort Myers.
Yes. This is the middle of a series, right? If it feels like, okay, so most people who have joined us might realize that I feel I look very sleepy, and it's because I was 100% asleep 9 minutes ago. I got my final dose of the COVID vaccine today, so I am fully vaxxed up. No, I don't think I am, because you have to wait a while, right?
I think it's like 2 weeks for it to fully kick in or something like that.
But I came home from my appointment and have been sleeping ever since. And so I just woke up and brushed the sleepies out of my eyes. And yeah, I'm here to talk about it. But if I'm a little bit quiet abnormally.
I don't know if sleepiness is a side effect of the vaccine or just you didn't sleep good last night and it worked as a good excuse to go take a nap.
I also got up early. Today would have been one of my rest days for working out, and I got up and worked out instead of resting because I assumed that I would want to rest tomorrow since it was like arms day. So I knocked it out today instead of doing it tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning I can sleep in and not worry about getting up and using my arms that just got the shot. Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Not the shot.
What are we talking about?
Pros and cons of living in Fort Myers, Florida. As of 2020, Fort Myers, Florida had 96,000 people living in it.
And that's not very much.
So it's not the biggest city.
Well, it's because that's the population of the Fort Myers city limits, which the city limits are quite small.
The city limits are small. So I have to tell you.
There's a lot of area that has a Fort Myers address. Most of it is unincorporated.
Yes. I was shocked when I went. I'll show you. Let's see if this will work or not. I got the Fort Myers city limits saved here on my phone. And I don't know if you can see it. If I can block out the...
I don't think so. But it's not much. And it's quite funky, too.
Well, it is weird. There's like strips out of it and nooks in it. And so like I don't see like Whiskey Creek is not in Fort Myers. Lakes Park, which I would consider to be in Fort Myers, is not Fort Myers. It shows Gateway not in Fort Myers, which I always thought was Fort Myers.
It's a Fort Myers address.
Fort Myers address.
Mailing address. It's not mailing address and city limits are two different things.
Very interesting. So that's where it is. I just showed you on a map. What are your first thoughts when you think of when you have clients that come to you and say, I want to live in Fort Myers, and they say, I want to live in Southwest Florida, and they tell you, I want this and this and this. What makes you think, Fort Myers proper over Cape Coral, Lehigh? Like, what would be some of the ideal Fort Myers buyers?
Well, we're talking Fort Myers mailing address because Fort Myers proper is not much space.
Fort Myers.
But Fort Myers would be...
Which is what I think of as...
Close to the beach.
Gateway to McGregor. Gateway to the river.
Yes.
And then the river up north, which is the difference. Remember, if you haven't seen the North Fort Myers video, we kind of described this. North Fort Myers, which is its own...
Is north of the Caloosahatchee
River. So Fort Myers proper is below the river, east of the river, and stops where south? Where does it become Bonita? Okay, is Estero first over Bonita?
Yes,
Estero. Okay, so it stops at Estero.
Town of Estero.
So where does that? Is there like a street that's?
So Estero is off of the Corkscrew exit on I-75.
Okay, so like that's kind of the box that we're discussing.
Like the south of Corkscrew pretty much is Estero.
Yes.
North of Corkscrew is Fort Myers for the most part.
So who is that Fort Myers buyer? Who is the Fort Myers buyer that makes you think? So you mentioned beach, which is one of our big pros of Fort Myers. We'll get onto it. So
near the beach,
which a lot of people
most affordable near the beach.
Okay.
If they like gated communities,
Okay.
like want amenities and stuff like that in their neighborhood.
Is there any employers or?
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few jobs and large corporate headquarters in the area.
Still here?
Chico's is there in Fort Myers. A lot of Hertz employees are in Fort Myers, even though the corporate office is in, like, I think it's North Naples.
Okay.
But it's much less expensive to live in Fort Myers than it is to live in Naples, and it's only 20 minutes to North Naples, 45 minutes to South Naples-ish.
So I have as one of the big pros. Let's dive into the pros. I have one of the big pros, which we've already mentioned.
Near the airport.
So it's near the airport. So Regional Southwest, or RSW is their code, is a big airport.
It's the biggest single runway airport, the busiest single runway airport in the United States.
And they're building for what we do. Yeah.
They've got some major additions coming. They're adding a second runway. They're adding they're making some major,
I think they're expanding. Have I heard that they're expanding international travel a little bit? Because so as a for instance, if we're looking to travel domestically out of Fort Myers, or if we're looking to travel domestically, we look to travel out of Fort Myers because RSW is just like, 12 minutes from our house. But if we are looking to travel internationally, we have to go across the state to Fort Lauderdale or Miami, FLL or MIA. And so it would be really nice. Yeah, you could go to Tampa, even Orlando, which is 2.5 hours from Fort Myers. Any of those will get you further, faster, and cheaper than Fort Myers. But you could get really affordable domestic flights in and out of RSW. And so not only is it close to the airport, so it's easy access it's particularly for snowbirds. That's really nice if you're planning on if you're flying several times a year to Fort Myers, it's going to make a difference. You don't want to be renting a car out of Tampa or Miami every time you come to travel.
Right.
So, and your condo, if it's close to, or your home, if it's close to Fort Myers, you're close to Fort Myers Beach, which is our second big pro. Fort Myers Beach is a beach that I grew up hanging out on. It's got the restaurants, it's got shopping. It's what I think of as like a quintessential summer family beach.
Yep. Not like super crazy, like commercialized with the huge resorts all up and down or anything like that. There are some, but there's not, there are some resorts, but they're mostly like mom and pop type places.
Yeah.
Like they're smaller. You don't really have the huge commercial, like corporate resorts all over the place.
Having a place in Fort Myers also means not only close to Fort Myers Beach, but you're close to the islands. So, like Sanibel and Captiva.
Sanibel, Captiva, and if you want to go by boat, then you've got North Captiva and Cayo Costa and stuff like that.
So incredible shelling, incredible like parasailing, fishing, things like that. You could do all of that on Fort Myers Beach. Also, too, I don't know if anybody knows this, but if you are a pet lover like we are, where's Gus? I feel like our mascot's missing.
He's hiding. He's probably outside the door now that we're on
video. The door is open today.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh. I don't know where he's at.
I don't know.
But come up. So Lee County beaches are mostly dog-friendly beaches.
They're all dog-friendly.
But not off-leash. So what that means is there is dog beaches where it's designed for dogs to go play with their owners off-leash as long as they're well-behaved. But like my dog who's not well-behaved and likes to bark and try and tear down other humans and dogs, He's even allowed at Fort Myers Beach with his people on a leash. And so we always like that about Fort Myers Beach. You don't have to worry about it being dog friendly or not. You could just take them down there and let them play in the sun, in the sand, and water, and enjoy that in the backseat of your car on the drive home.
And yeah, Lee County is one of the only. There's very few counties in Florida that have dog friendly beaches.
Yep.
So if that's a big thing for you, then that is the place to be.
So I really like the downtown area as well of Fort Myers. It's really been built up and transformed even since we've moved here. When did we move here? 2010.
They had done most of that, but a lot more
The
stuff
big
has opened since
restaurant.
then.
So I feel like, who owns the big restaurant?
I can't remember the name of the group.
There's a group that owns all the restaurants downtown.
Most of them.
Ford's Garage and the Lodge and
Firestone.
They're all owned by the same restaurant group, and they're kind of moving all over Florida. I've seen they've really expanded, but there's a lot of really nice restaurants. Even
the new hotel.
New hotel, which I think we should go do a talk about it Tuesday from the hotel rooftop bar.
We can do that.
Totally not because I want to go to a hotel rooftop bar just to hang out. But yes, they have a new hotel, and we love the downtown area. There's arts and music, and we used to have bike nights down there. I don't know that that's coming back anytime soon, but maybe
they just announced that all COVID restrictions are removed in the state of Florida. So in the state of Florida, COVID no longer exists.
Well, I was in the Walmart today picking things up after I got my second vaccine, and loading up the trunk of my vehicle, had a gentleman walk by me complaining about how he forgot his mask and got turned away to go get it from his car. And he was mumbling, grumbling, yelling at me because I was apparently associated with that because I had a mask on. And he told us, I can't believe Florida's the worst. You should be like Oklahoma, nobody wears a mask anywhere. You can go anywhere you want without wearing a mask. So apparently we're behind the 8 ball compared to Mr. Walmart, man.
Compared to Oklahoma.
But yes, so I don't think that bike night was a COVID thing, though. I think bike night got the boot from downtown Fort Myers, and they tried to move it elsewhere in Fort Myers. So
yeah,
I think that was pre-COVID, but hopefully they'll bring it back. If you're watching, and by the way, if you're watching, can I just do like round of applause or like snaps for Jerry Niesman? He just hit 1,500 subscribers on our YouTube channel, and I'm sure that it snaps for me too, because we're working together to put out high quality content to people. The videos are all sponsored by the Niesman Team and only the Niesman Team. If you're interested in buying, selling, or investing in real estate in Southwest Florida or anywhere around the globe, please hit us up at 239-201-9583 or email jerryniesman@gmail.com with all of your real estate questions. 1,500 subscribers. How does it feel?
It's great.
Cool.
It's generating some business for us.
Can you tell I write the listing descriptions? This home is
great.
Oh, that's funny.
All right. So
what else we got?
Back from this commercial break.
So it is, I put that it is affordable compared to moving south. So I feel like Fort Myers is bookmarked. And this is also one of the pros is it's similarly close to Sarasota and Naples. So Fort Myers is smack dab 1 hour south of Sarasota and 1 hour north of Naples, depending on where you go in each city, of course. Yeah. So you can go to either place pretty easy. You could be at the Ringling Museum in an hour, and you could be at the Naples Zoo in 1 hour when you're in Fort Myers. So it's nice that it's close to everything, and it's affordable compared to moving south towards Naples. So you have, what is it? It's Estero, Bonita, and Naples, and then down towards like Marco Island.
Yeah.
Which gets just consistently more expensive.
Yep.
So it's nice because if you're looking to really enjoy some of the best beaches in Florida, some of the nice restaurants, shopping, It's Fort Myers is a great centrally located place to fly into RSW, plant yourself in Fort Myers, and be able to get up and down the coast in Southwest Florida
Yep. So, and
affordably.
it's more affordable to buy and own a home there than it is as you go south, like Estero, Bonita, Naples, or as you go north, like Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte, Northport are a little bit less expensive. But then once you start going north from there, you get to Venice
Sarasota.
and then into Sarasota, and you get more expensive again.
So there are lots of gated communities in Florida or Fort Myers proper, and unincorporated Fort Myers. I keep forgetting. I keep
Stop
calling
saying
it.
Fort Myers proper.
I guess, because it's not. It's this.
It's Fort
So
Myers.
so there's lots of gated communities. So
Yes.
if you like having somebody show, say you're a snowbird or somebody who's not going to be in your house full time, or if you live here full time and you just like the idea of
See, here he is.
a community with amenities and a swimming pool and a fitness center and all those things, and being able to come home to your community at the end of the day with all sorts of cool things, never having to leave and go outside of your community for a lot of things, Fort Myers is probably the place for you. Places like Gateway, and where else are other strips of like tons of gated communities?
Along Tree Line, and
Mhm.
they're all over the place.
Palomino is got some back in there. There's a lot of places in Fort Myers where you could kind of live in the gated community zone and really enjoy it affordably. It's also near a lot of really great health care. I think when I think of the ones that we had spoken about before, like Cape Coral, North Fort Myers, we haven't done Lehigh yet, but Fort Myers has and houses some of the best health care, including places to work as well as places to visit for your healthcare needs. So it's really centrally located for that, if that's a question or concern from you. I know a lot of
Multiple
people.
hospitals.
Yeah.
It's a big question from a lot of our clients is where's the nearest hospital?
Yep.
Where do I get access to doctors and stuff like that? Because when you're moving to a new area, you don't know any of those things.
Right. It's a little bit easier access to specialists and things like that, because places like Health Park allow you access to all kinds of healthcare without having to travel very far. So I also put in Fort Myers that you have access to the 41 and this I-75, like most of the coastline. And like I said, it is close to Naples and Sarasota. But to piggyback over from that access to 41 and 75, my number one con of living in Fort Myers proper is just flat the infrastructure and I don't want to call it invasion of tourists, but we'll call it snowbird season. That sounds nice. So half the year, Fort Myers specifically, particularly, it happens in other cities, but Fort Myers, I don't feel like their infrastructure is built to house so many snowbirds. Snowbirds are people who live in the north. They travel south in the winter for warmer weather, and then they return home when the weather's better up north. And we love you all. We have family members who are snowbirds, and we help snowbirds all day, every day find their dream vacation home here in town. But it's very difficult to, like, for instance, if my child, we just talked about healthcare, my kid has a specialist eye doctor, a pediatric eye doctor out in Health Park. It takes us during the summer when there's no snowbirds here, it takes us 25 minutes, 30 minutes to get to that doctor's appointment. And in snowbird season, when there's only 2 or 3 exits off the I-75 to get into Fort Myers, you're talking like an hour and 15 minutes. Like, that's how much traffic. You're sitting at stoplights sometimes 4, 5, 6 times to go straight or turn, and they need to fix it.
So basically,
they just need to fix it. I don't know how. I don't know what.
There's 2 north-south arteries through Fort Myers, and that's 41 and 75. And there's 3 east-west, basically.
Yes.
You've got Colonial, Daniels, and Palm Beach.
And it functions pretty well some of the year.
Well, when your population doubles and it's not designed for a full-time double the population. So It's something that every city deals with,
Yeah.
though. I mean, traffic is traffic, but I don't know.
I read an
It is
interesting.
a con, but I feel like it's a con everywhere.
I watch a YouTube channel called Mojo Travels where it's like top 10 lists or lists regarding travel. So it's like, but I watched the other day like top 10 tourist destinations that tourists have essentially ruined. And it was interesting to hear how other cities around the world are reducing the damage that tourists have on the city or on the metropolis that they're traveling into, like extra fees during. Can I tell you, I went to a Sanibel beach yesterday. I parked my car for 3 hours. It took me an hour and 15 minutes to get to the beach from our place in North Fort Myers. Guess how much I paid for parking?
Huh.
$17.50 after paying $6 to get over the Sanibel Bridge. It cost me like $30 to visit a Sanibel beach yesterday. And so I guess I don't know if like a rise in prices, what would be able to like put that extra money into redoing some of the infrastructure.
I don't know.
So but that's my
Sounds
biggest
like
con.
a city council, county commissioner
It does.
conversation.
Maybe we should go get involved in that situation. Be the change you want to see in the world. Another con of Fort Myers, and this is didn't make our con list of. We have two things that like we put on our con list for Fort Myers that by all rights should have been on our con list for North Fort Myers and Cape Coral as well. So that would be that Florida in general is incredibly flat. There's not a lot of great like hiking. You can't go and like mountain climb.
They say if you cut down all the trees, you can see for miles.
And then also the lack of public transportation in the state of Florida. I don't know about the entire state. Maybe some metropolitan cities have better public transportation, but it's not great. Nobody's hopping on a metro to get across town. Nobody's
It probably reduce the traffic.
It would listen, it would help reduce the traffic. So maybe that's part of the solution too. On our con list of living in Fort Myers, I also listed lots of gated communities. So this was one of our pros that can also be seen as a con, depending on who you are as a shopper. If you are looking to live in Fort Myers, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm a little bit out of my wheelhouse here. If you're looking to live in Fort Myers, mailing code, like Fort Myers address, and you do not want to live in a gated community. You don't want to have to show your ID at the gate. You do not want to have to vet your visitors. You want to paint your mailbox any color you want it to. If you want that in Fort Myers, you're probably talking a custom builder, and it's probably going to be very expensive because there's not a lot of land left to do so. Right?
Yeah, pretty. I mean, it's mostly larger lots and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more expensive, and there's not a lot of places where you're in without a gated community in Fort Myers.
Right.
Typically, if that's what you want,
you're looking in Cape Coral.
You're looking in Cape Coral, Lehigh, North Fort Myers, some parts of Bonita Springs.
So I put also the final con is that it's expensive compared to some of the northern or eastern cities. So we said that it was inexpensive. Living in Fort Myers or homes in Fort Myers is going to be a little bit more affordable if you compare it. If you're looking, do I live in, I want an affordable beach access home in Southwest Florida, and you're comparing it to Naples, Fort Myers is going to seem like a dream come true. But if you're looking for that and you're considering Fort Myers or some of the northern cities like North Fort Myers, Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte, Northport, Fort Myers is going to be on your pricier end.
But and those are those are further from the beach.
They are.
So it's a trade-off.
Yep, for sure.
There's no beaches in Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte, Cape Coral. So you run, that's your trade-off. Is right. You want to get a little bit less expensive, then you're going to have a little bit longer drive to get to the beach.
Right.
So.
Yep, and that's it. That's all we have today. Pros and cons of living in Fort Myers. Please check out the rest of our YouTube channel. Please like and comment and subscribe if you are watching this on the YouTube. If you are joining us live, thank you so much for joining us today to talk about it. We will be back next week. Where do you want to go, north or south? You want to do Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte, Northport, or do you want to do Estero, Bonita?
I would probably do Punta Gorda next.
Okay. let's go.
We'll just kind of work our way. We live in North Fort Myers, so we'll just work our way.
Stretching our way out. Awesome.
Go a little bit both directions.
I love it. Let us know how we can help you guys with your real estate needs. And thank you so much for joining us today. Gus, do you want to wave bye? Say bye. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. I don't know.